Let's start here. Suppose it's time to do your writing lesson, and your student, whether it's in the classroom or at home in your kitchen, your student groans. They don't want to do it. They hate writing. They don't understand how to write. They feel like they can't write. I'm going to go through a series of videos here that walks you through how to tackle this problem. And it's super important that we start with their reasoning. So, as much as we want to say, we'll just get over it, you got to do it. If you go back and address the reasons for that sense of dread, you're actually going to be able to launch from a much better place than if you had just come in with a heavy hand and said, we're going to do it like this. So I'm going to teach you in this video the 3 different reasons why your student might be dreading writing. And then I will walk you through step by step how you're going to address each one of those problems. And in case you've just recently found me, my name is Robin Millum, and I am a teacher, an instructional coach, and a children's book author. And I recreated my writing program. Basically, after I left the classroom for about 7 years, I went and toured the country. I talked to kids all over the place, talked to teachers about writing, and everyone was struggling everywhere. It was a constant thing being brought up by parents as well, that their kids don't love writing and they don't know how to fix it. So I revamped my writing program completely and turned it into what I call the structured writer's workshop. And I'm going to teach you in this series is exactly how I teach creative writing, descriptive writing, but also how we do essays, because essays are not taught in a workshop model. I'm going to teach you all about how we do that. But first, let's get on to how we deal with students who dread writing. So here are the 3 reasons why your student might be dreading writing. It starts with this. It could feel like a guessing game. We are giving advice and instructions at a time when they are most needy. They've been told they need to write something. So we might call out to them and say, well, just add more details and explain your thinking and write in complete sentences. And they feel like pieces of advice that are almost going to make us drown more. So if you could even imagine someone in a pool and they're like drowning, and you come up to the edge and wave to them and say, just do the backstroke and then do it faster. They're thinking, maybe you could just, throw me a life preserver, lady. So you want to use really, really practical things with your student at first so that they feel like you have their back. There's a feeling with writing that they need to have, and that's part of it. That's your role. Now, number 2, they are expected to run before they can walk. Writing is a stair step. You start at the beginning and you kind of get more and more and better as you go along. We don't just jump into it. And oftentimes writing programs will start with, well, we'll just do narrative essays first because these are stories about themselves and kids love to write about themselves, when in actuality, a lot of them don't like to write about themselves. And narrative essays actually require the most skills. So all of the skills that we learn in Writer's Workshop, they now use them for the narrative. So I always put them at the end because they should be the hardest one, quite honestly. There's no built-in structure for confidently learning sentence fluency. So that's your beginning point there, is being able to get and master the sentences first and understand how to do that, and do it in a way that's engaging and it doesn't make them dread and like flop their head. And I'll show you how you can do that. And then third, the process might feel a little bit invisible. So if there's not daily modeling, like you're not seeing short parts of writing being written every day, you're not seeing it constantly, it's not enough when it comes time to do the big product. So you need that daily modeling. And the step-by-step part of it is not clear. They might feel like, oh, this week we're going to do this. This week, oh, here's this strategy. Try that strategy. And they don't know what the next piece of advice is going to be. My program lays out so that they know exactly what it is that I'm going to talk about next. And so there is familiarity to it, and they feel more like calm about the whole process. And so do you, because they know what's next and you know what's next. And then sometimes it's the prompts themselves that can intimidate them. So whether they're being told to explain their thinking, it's the way that the prompt is written. So you need to start at a certain level with what you're expecting of them and then keep building and building and building. Now, here's where I want to pause for just a minute and say something that is super important that I want you to hear. You do not have to be a certified teacher to teach writing to your student. I'm just going to put that out there. What you need is a structure that you can use, that you can rely on and feel confident yourself in what it is that you're teaching your student, your child. And I am going to walk you through that. I am here for you. You found me, so you're going to be just fine now. You will have the videos you need, the structure you need, the workshop model, resources. The whole plan will be laid out. So this won't be too overwhelming for you either. It might feel like that at the beginning, but I have so much to share with you, and you can do this. And to help you along the way, I do have a year-long writing planner down below for free that you can grab. It's editable, and you can go in there and see how I map out my entire year and fit every part of it in there. And it gives you links to support videos for you and for the students. So check that out. So here is the fix for this. First, you're going to start with sentence power. Super important to get the basics, that brick down to start building this whole structure here. And it's got to be on a daily. I'll show you how I do that. Then you use a predictable writing rhythm. Like I said, the students know what's going to come next. They know what day we do workshop. They know what skill we're going to work on. They are often in charge of a lot of parts of the workshop. They love like predictability. And then every once in a while throwing in some like, ooh, little treasures here. We don't know what's going on, but predictability and routine are very important. Also to writers, like in the real world, you need to have a routine set up to continue writing. And then we let them write what they care about, but you do this through structured choice. And I'll show you all about like how I get them honed in on what topic they're going to write about during workshop. It's often nothing to do with the upcoming essay. And that's perfect. And I will explain all of that to you. So starting with sentence power is the most important. And in the next video up here, we're going to go into more detail about how do you do that on a daily basis? What benefit do they get from that? How do you not have them flop their heads every day because they have to work with sentence power? There's a way you can do it. So you're going to click on this box up here, and I will see you over in that video.